Hello everyone and welcome back to more Thief Goat. It's been a couple of days, but we're back. And yeah, last time, as a refresher, we broke from Crackscleft prison. We broke in actually to rescue our fence, who was captured by the Hemorrhoids. Unfortunately, he died. What a shame. But we completed all of our other objectives, which includes rescuing Basso the Boxman, getting our Lucky Hand of Glory back, getting a bunch of loot, and before dying, Kuti actually told us about a map that Felix, who is I guess some sort of another thief basically, had on him, which apparently shows the location of some fabled treasure, the Horn of Quintus. So we got that as well, and that's actually going to be our next mission. But yeah, the previous mission basically introduced us to the hammers. So if you missed it, and you're watching these like back to back after the stream has ended, I highly recommend you check out the previous mission. Because even though the main story of the game hasn't really kicked off yet, like all of these missions are, I wouldn't say filler, because they serve to sort of introduce the player to the world and all of the different factions and characters, but at the same time, yeah, they're not really part of the main plot necessarily. But I still recommend watching them because it will all make sense if you have the context from the previous mission. Anyway, let's begin.
I was pissed at Cuddy for a good while after the prison debacle. But hey, you can't blame him for what the Hammers did to him. So I decided to go after that horn Felix talked about. Not like I had a whole lot of choice, really. The rent is due. My landlord's even tougher than the Hammers. The map's pretty specific about where the entrance is. Too bad it's not as clear about where the horn is. Felix did some scrounging before he left, and his notes say the horn is in the tomb of some nobles. The Quintus family. Guess I'll just have to explore. Felix, always helpful, also said that the catacombs are supposed to be haunted. I think I'll go make some inquiries about where a heretic like me can get some holy water. Always go prepared.
Alright, so as you might have guessed from that intro, this is yet another haunted mission. It's basically a one giant tomb raid level. It's literally you raid the tombs and you fight undead. Like there's no sneaking, there's not even any humans, which is why even on expert you might notice there is no objective, don't kill anyone, because there isn't a single living human down there. So there's... I'll talk more about this as we begin, but long story short, this is something that not many people like about the original Thief. I personally don't mind it, but I'll get to that. So on normal, you only have one objective, which is to get the horn. Hard, you have a couple extra objectives. You have to get the Mystic Soul, extra loot, and leave. And on expert, you have to get the Mystic Soul, the Mystic's Heart, which is a sister stone to the Mystic Soul, 2,000 loot, which is quite a lot. But again, this is tombs. There's a lot of loot to be had here, so it's not that difficult to get this much. Of course, the Horn of Quintus, and leave once we're done. Kind of annoying how it takes so long because of the HD mod. Alright, you already start off with 3 holy water, but you can buy 3 more. I would prioritize water arrows though, because water arrows are a lot more valuable than holy water. You also have 3 health potions, which is interesting. You actually start with a lot of stuff, even on expert. Huh. Anyway, what should I get? I'm thinking 2 flasks of holy water and 2 healing potions ought to do. Yeah, wow, 8 rope arrows. That's a lot, damn. Yeah, I think that's good. Can review our goals again, and yeah, the map, I would say this is the first mission where the map really starts to be kind of pointless, almost. Because, yeah, you start at the entrance, obviously, and there's a bunch of, like, these vaults here that we have to get across, but, again, it's not very clear where we are, or what is what, basically. There's a couple of inaccessible wings. There's the Edin wing and the Alaris extension. These 2 are inaccessible. And but our goal is here, in the Halls of Echoing Repose. We'll know that we're there because we'll actually hear, you know, echoing music. That's why it's called Halls of Echoing Repose. Wow. There is a crypt here, the Marat family crypt, which has some loot. The Quintus family, which is our ultimate objective for the Horn of Quintus, is all the way at the back. And apparently there's some Hemorrhide crypts there as well, and as you might know from the previous mission, wherever there's Hemorrhide crypts or Hemorrhide whatever, there's also holy water, so that's something to keep an eye out for. And apparently there's a holy water fountain in the upper north vaults as well. I'll show you where that is. It's actually on the way to your main objective. It's really it's really hard to miss. But yeah, let's begin. Drop a save here. I should have probably deleted my old saves. Before we jump down, there's a couple of tombs here. This one has a piece of loot, very easy to miss. Oh, was it this one? I don't think it was this one. Oh no, it was the other one, okay. It's been a while, but this tomb or whatever it is here has a piece of loot. Again, very easy to miss. There's also a zombie there. That zombie will actually wake up if you approach him, so be careful. Whee! Oh, this looks so different from what I'm used to.
It's a long way down.
Indeed, Garrett. Indeed it is. Alright, so right now we are in... It doesn't even tell us where we are, but I think we're in the noble houses, I believe. Yeah, we're definitely in the noble houses right now. Even though these are called noble houses, there's basically no loot here, which is kind of interesting. Kind of a missed opportunity. There is a zombie here, but this guy, honestly, is not worth dealing with. I normally just run past him because he's so slow that he'll never catch up to you. So you're gonna be fine. No need to waste your holy water on this guy. I think... Okay, here we go. So, this is gonna give us a bit of an interesting backstory. I've had enough. If Felix wants to stay and be killed, that's his business. But the pay's not good enough to keep me down here a minute more. We already lost Dranko to those damned belching burricks. We're gonna get to see those soon. And Marcus didn't make the jump across that huge chasm. He probably drowned if he wasn't dashed to bits. I thought about looking for his body as he was carrying some loot from a poorly guarded tomb, but it wasn't worth the risk. Then we watched Cather get filled with arrows from a clever trap in one of the great octagonal vaults. Not that I cared one whit for Cather, the bastard, but I have no intention of ending up the same way. I don't expect I will see Felix again. He seemed sure that the Horn of Quintus was somewhere north of the vaults, but I think that was just a guess. I thought those strange X-shaped marks off the branch of the Burrick tunnels were worth investigating, but Felix said they were irrelevant. Anyway, if the traps and zombies don't get him, the Burricks surely will. Those tunnels were a nightmare. At least our marks were mostly still intact. I'm almost out, but I need to sleep. I think the place I found is out of the way enough that the zombies won't find me. Apparently that was not the case. So, this band of thieves, led by this Felix feller, who was mentioned in the previous mission, basically came down here for the Horn of Quintus. But apparently they didn't succeed, because we're down here now and we're gonna try to get it. So, it's kind of interesting how the developers actually scattered, because this is not the only guy that we'll find. They basically scattered the corpses of the entire expedition, and there's notes detailing what happened to each and every one of them. Which is, again, something that you don't really see very often in modern games. Unfortunately. It does all of the world building and story in the actual game and not just through like countless of the dialogue files or whatever that you have to listen to. I mean, they're still readables, obviously, but I think they're very well done. Hello, Jonas, and welcome back to the stream. Up here, we actually have a chest. Very easy to miss. I think it has water arrows, I'm not sure. It has something. It isn't loot though, so it's not that important. You can just skip it. And yeah, now we're in the upper vaults. And actually, even though it says that it's in the north vaults, the holy water, it's actually right here. There it is. So that's, oh, I guess this is already the north vaults. But this is where you get the holy water. Yeah, this is very hard to miss, if you're observant enough at least. So I'm actually gonna use this to save up on my holy water, even though I have 6 flasks, which is overkill. I like to keep them, just in case. I will kill that guy, because if you approach him, he will wake up. Over here, there's a very obvious trap. These things will shoot arrows at you if you step on these tiles, so watch out for that. Yeah, because of the age of this game, it's so ancient and low poly, it's really easy to get to see where all the traps are. I'm gonna try to be fast here, because there is a bunch of zombies down here that are honestly kind of annoying if you don't kill them. There's this guy. And this guy. Okay, barely enough time. Very nice. Okay, so here we have some loot. And there's 2 pools, which are actually connected. So there's this pool and the other pool that you probably saw when I first came down here. If we come down this way, it'll just lead us back to the other one. So that way actually leads us back to that same chamber we entered from, so we have to go this way instead. Right, another obvious trap, just don't stand in front of the chests. Pop a save. Here's another obvious trap. You can already see it down there, there's a pressure plate, and if you step on it, it'll drop a boulder on you, so you gotta be quick. Right, and now we're actually approaching the brick tunnels, which look very weird, this texture pack. Almost feels like fleshy. Okay, there's a brick right there. So bricks are actually very interesting. They're these sort of like dinosaur-like creatures. And these guys are very easy to dispose of, because they cannot fight back. Well, in reality they can, but their only attack is a ranged attack, so they like belch at you basically. That's why they're called belching bricks. They belch at you poisonous gas, which will do quite a lot of damage actually. So they're very dangerous from a distance, but if you get up close to them and start whacking them with your sword, they have a very weird animation where they're meant to attack, but it doesn't work. I don't know if it's glitched or if it's intentional, because they have like really tiny arms. They're kind of like a mini T-Rex in that sense. But they can't really damage you when you're up close to them. They have no melee attack. So as long as you're not fighting like multiple, again, it's just like guards. If you're not fighting multiple of them, they're actually super easy. They're even easier than guards, because guards can actually fight back. These guys can't. You don't even have to circle them. But yeah, that's what bricks are. They will appear in some other levels as well, usually the tomb raging levels, because yes, there is gonna be more missions like this one, which are focused... excuse me, which are focused less on thievery and like raging mansions and more on raging tombs and action. And a lot of people really dislike these missions, and I can kind of understand why, because they're more focused around combat, and combat is definitely not this game's strong point. I personally don't mind these missions, but then again, that's because I've gotten used to the combat, because I'm kind of impatient with this game, and sometimes I just say screw it to the stealth and just go for the combat approach. But a lot of people dislike this style of mission, and the developers... It's actually quite interesting, because in an interview, the developers actually said that the reason why they added missions like this one is because this was something new at the time. This is like basically the first of its kind, a first-person stealth game. So the developers, because they had to compete with the likes of Doom and Half-Life and Quake and all these like action-packed, you know, first-person shooters, they weren't sure if people would even like or want to play something like this. So they tried to sort of balance it out by adding these more action-packed levels. It gets really bad near the end of the game as well. But we'll get there eventually. And they actually learned their lesson, and Thief 2 actually has a lot more of the traditional mansion raid missions instead. It barely has any combat-centric levels. I think there's only one, in fact, in that game. Whereas here there's at least 5, maybe even 7. About half the missions are combat-centric. So that's the reason why it's like this. So that's a bit of interesting history about this game. Hello Alex, so welcome back to the stream. Okay, here we have a note, which is actually an important one. I've decided to take the plunge. If my records are correct, there should be a stash of fire crystals in the lowest oubliette, which was sealed for centuries but has since been opened up by the Bureks. I'll need the crystals for the torches if I'm going to get the Mystic Soul. So this is not only a hint for us where we are at, but it's also a hint how we can get one of our 2 objectives. Well, 3 technically with the horn, which is the Mystic Soul. So we basically are gonna need to save on our fire arrows to get that. And this is what I mentioned I think in the first episode, where in Thief Gold they added a new enemy that's only in 2 levels, and the only reason why they added it was because to prevent soft locking. Because in the original game, the non-gold edition, that enemy does not exist. So if you basically use up your fire arrows, which is very unlikely but still possible, if you use up all of your fire arrows, you're basically soft locked. You cannot finish the mission. So they added a enemy called the Fire Shadow. We'll get to meet it soon, which basically has infinite health, and after you shoot it with 2 water arrows, or just whack it a bunch with your sword, it will drop a fire arrow and run away. And then it will go back to its original area, and you can just rinse and repeat until you have enough fire arrows. So that's a very nice nice thing that they did in the gold edition. Avoid the obvious traps. Now we can proceed. Yeah, as I said, I personally don't mind this type of level too much in this game. There are a few levels at the very end game, especially one in particular. You'll see it when we get there, that are really nasty. I really don't like them, but this is not one of them. This one is fun. Okay, so down here we have some Bureks. Might as well kill them. There's actually quite a few Bureks here, so you gotta be careful. You have to either get them one by one, or if you get spotted, just run away from them and you'll be fine. If they are on low enough health, and this goes true for any type of enemy, not just Bureks, if they're on low enough health, they'll start running away from you instead of fighting. So they value survival. Kinda sad, honestly. Alright, you can go. I don't feel like killing that guy. There is some easy to miss loot in these tunnels here. Gonna show it off. Once you come at this crossroad, turn left. And at the end of this tunnel, there's a silver nugget, I believe. So right up here. I can pick it up, there we go. And there's another piece of loot as well, I think. Is there? I'm not sure. There definitely is another area, another one of Felix's expedition that we can find here. A room with dead Bureks. Careful with the flies, by the way. If you walk inside those flies, you will take damage. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. Hello, someone. Welcome to the stream. I'm guessing you're someone I used to know and could change their name. Here we have a lone Burrick, very easy to handle. Just whack him a bunch, he'll go down, no problem. I feel like some of my hits aren't landing. I don't know if that's a audio bug or if it's a bug with the hitboxes, but it's definitely caused by the HD mod. Since that never happened, I never had this problem in the vanilla game. Oh, it's James. Okay, hi. Yeah, I'm back to streaming as things have finally calmed down a bit, but it's not very regular, like it's not daily streams anymore. Here we have another member of Felix's team. What is his note is also a hint to us as well, by the way. It appears I was wrong about the Mystic's heart, and I would die for my mistake. The ancient tablet I found said that the heart would be in a room of statues whose gaze is death. But though there are statues here, it's clear to me now that this is not that place. I dare not go back down. The Burricks prowl below in numbers, angered at my intrusion. Unless they leave, I will starve in this godforsaken place. What a terrible way to go, starving. That is ironic though, because this technically is a room with statues whose gaze is death. Because if you get trapped up here, you're gonna die anyway. But yeah, we'll actually see what that room is later on in the level. So now we have two hints of how we can get both of the items that we need. The Mystic Soul and Mystic's Heart. Which, by the way, they're not special items like the Scepter or the Horn. Which are, you know, actual special items that don't count as loot. They're literally just loot pieces. So they will contribute to your total loot count as well. Which, again, if you recall, we have to get 2,000 loot in this mission. And those two, I think one of them, I think the Mystic's Heart is literally 1,000 on its own. So that's why it's actually really easy. Despite it being a massive shift from the previous missions, I believe we only had to get 750 loot in the first mission and about 1,000 in the second one. Again, it's a lot easier to get than you would expect. Okay, these guys are still scared of me, that's good. I think there's a third Burrick that prowls around here, so gotta be quick. So we have to climb this rope. This rope is kind of annoying to get to hold on to, latch onto, because of the physics of this game. Like, your hitbox is kind of strange. It feels offset or like bigger than it actually is. Alright, so here there's two ways to go. You can either jump down, there's water down there. You can either jump down and go through the Burrick tunnels and fight even more Burricks. I'm not gonna do that. Or you can go just straight ahead and you literally end up right at the Halls of Echoing Repose, which is this area. We're currently in the Burrick tunnels, which is why it says where am I, because these are not mapped, obviously, because they're made by wild beasts. However, before we go and proceed, I'm gonna pop a quick save and I'm gonna jump down here because there is a readable that I want to show you guys. There is no loot down here, so you're fine just skipping this area completely. But I do want to show off this readable because it does give some more background. Another guy. This is actually not Cather. I forgot what the name of this guy was, but he's the guy who fell down the pit, if you recall from the very first note that we read. Felix doesn't care, but we've definitely found signs that Adolfo has been here before us. I don't know if he found that fabulous gemstone he always said was here, but if it's still here, it's worth more than the lousy horn of quintuplets or whatever the hell the thing is called. If I'm reading the signs right, Adolfo was convinced something useful was deep down below the Burrick tunnels. This is a hint to I don't even know what. It's a hint to one of the two items. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, apparently this Adolfo fella was actually some master thief, kind of like us. Like a legendary thief who was down here, and this was basically his last venture, I guess. So I just wanted to show that off. This feels like a Half-Life 1 mod. This is released around the same time as Half-Life 1, but it runs on its own engine. It's called the Dark Engine. It's not based off the Quake engine or the Goat Source engine. It's a completely separate thing. But it was also released in 1998, so that's why. Keep in mind that I am using an HD textures mod. This is not how the game will look like for you if you were to buy and install it. Which you should, by the way. I highly recommend it, especially if you love stealth games.
Tombs with piped-in music. How classy.
Okay, so here we have a lot, and I do mean a lot of prowling zombies, which is why I was saving up my holy water. Usually what I do is I just go around and slaughter everyone. You don't have to kill all these zombies, you can easily outrun them. But they can actually trap you, and then that becomes bad. So I like to be safe and just kill them. Oh my god, I keep forgetting about that attack. Because that's not in the vanilla game, so you can actually get close to them just fine. Vomit attack. Second flask of holy water. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, this is why I brought potions. We drink one, right? Guess I can eat the food as well, why not? And these zombies here will also wake up if you approach them, so I'm gonna also kill these. Okay, that hurt me, that is annoying. Sometimes body parts will hurt you if they're going fast enough. That golden bone, by the way, is a Thief Gold edition. There's a bunch of golden bones around these tombs, and if you find all of them, you'll basically get a reward. Here's another one. Down to my last flask. That's not good. Also, the blood splats are kind of annoying. I know that it is possible to turn them off. I think I should. If I don't forget, I should turn it off before the next stream. Hey. Oh, it's gonna run out. Come on! Oh, it's so annoying that controls are so unresponsive. Oh, for Christ's sake. Well, there goes all my holy water. I was hoping to save some of it because I'm gonna need it for the upper floor, but oh well. If you open this door, don't enter because those rocks will fall on you. There is some loot here. I'm almost out of water arrows as well. Do I have flash bombs? I don't. Okay, that sucks. Flash bombs also work on zombies, if you recall. Pretty sure I mentioned that last stream. Yeah, that was weird. It's kind of easy to get turned around here because everything kind of looks the same. So you gotta watch out for landmarks. Like, for example, there's this chamber here with a spiral staircase in the center. In fact, let's go down this spiral staircase because there is some stuff down here. Flavor of Fallout 4, but the difficulty is brutal. If you think Fallout 4 is brutal, I mean, I haven't played Fallout 4, but if you think Fallout 4 is brutal, don't play Fallout New Vegas. I played that game on normal and I had a really rough time. I did not enjoy it one bit. Mostly because it just doesn't match my playstyle. I found it super annoying because the developers expect you to play a very specific type of build. But I always like to go for like a rounded build, like a jack of all trades sort of thing. And you simply, that is simply not viable in Fallout New Vegas. I didn't even finish the game, I was really annoyed with it. I was actually playing for all the Fallout games the past few months. I played Fallout 1, 2, 3 in New Vegas. And out of all of them, I would say I enjoyed Fallout 2 the most. Then it's probably Fallout 1. Fallout 3 was okay, but the writing was really bad. And Fallout New Vegas was the opposite. The writing was great, everything else was awful. Very unpopular opinion. I don't care if that gets me cancelled or whatever. I really couldn't care less. It's just my opinion. I really don't like that game. Okay, I'm getting turned around here despite apparently being the thief expert. There is a... Whoa. Okay, that was a... Yeah, the HD mod is not very well optimized, though, I gotta admit. Now I'm starting to see why people kind of crap on this mod. Oh, okay. We have another guy here.
Felix? You don't look so good.
I don't know how you could recognize that's Felix, because he looks exactly the same as all the other guys, but yeah, this is Felix. I'm so close! I hears the sound of the horn echoing all around. That coward, Sutter. He left me an hour ago after Cather blundered into a trap, but you can bet I'll be finding the prize on my own. It seems that I'm not the first grave robber to muck about in these halls. The infamous Adolfo was down here, probably after one of the richer but heavily warded treasures. It looks like he failed, the poor bugger. This part of the tombs is filled with traps, and there's no way I'm plundering some of these crypts. But the horn's gonna be mine, I know it. If the rumors are true, the sound of the horn should be keeping any local bricks happy and peaceful like, with no thoughts of bothering old Felix. My only trouble now be my dwindling supply of holy water. I thought there would be a font in this area, but I'm blasted if I can find it. And the dead seem to be getting restless about something. So now we know what happened to Felix. What a noob. Imagine dying down here to a bunch of slow, dumbass zombies. Wouldn't be me. Okay, I went out in a complete circle, apparently. Maybe I'm just used to more easy and friendly games, which Fallout 4 is. Fallout 4 is, I think, the easiest out of all the Fallout games, if anything. I know that the Bethesda Fallouts are really easy, so I would recommend, James, you avoid Fallout New Vegas 1 and 2. Especially New Vegas, because New Vegas isn't even that great. 1 and 2, I actually quite enjoyed those. The problem with those two is that they're kind of hard to get into. But once you get into them, they're both fantastic. Sadly, I cannot say the same about Fallout New Vegas. I tried and I tried. I have like about 10 hours clocked into that game on Steam and I just couldn't get into it. Okay, I think I got everything down here. There is another area that I remember, but I can't really find it right now. But I should be able to access it from up above. Actually, this is it right here. But there is no opening. Okay, so I do have to access it from above. There's a zombie down there, so gotta avoid him. And there's also a zombie up here. He's kind of easy to avoid, just don't linger in this area for too long. Whoa. Okay, this is the area I was thinking of. So there is a goblet on one of these tombstones. I think it's on that one. There is also a guy here, so gotta be careful. Oh, you can enter this area from there. Okay, interesting. Trying to save for some things. Vegas is way too expensive, either way. What do you mean it's way too expensive? It's like 10 bucks. Fallout 4 is a lot more expensive. Because Vegas is from 2010 and Fallout 4 is from 2015. Oh, no! Wow. Wow, okay. Yeah, the physics in this game aren't the best. I would say that's... Other than the last, like, couple of levels, I would say the physics are the worst part about this game. Thankfully, Thief... I don't know what Thief 2 did, but the Thief 2 physics are a lot more stable. Thief 1 just has something weird going on with the player hitbox. There's also a... I will show you a hack. You can bunny hop. You can bee-hop in Thief 1. If you keep just jumping forward, it's very easy to do. You'll gain speed. This does not work in Thief 2. So I think this also has something to do with the hitboxes. I thought you were talking about 76. Dude, 76 is awful. You're not really missing out on much with that game. Trust me. Okay, let's pop a quick save this time. Before the physics ruins it for me again. Alley-oop. Okay. So all of the objectives, our main objectives, the Mystic Soul, the Mystic's Heart, and the Horn of Quintus are all in the topmost floor, unsurprisingly. I'm not sure which one is up here. I can never remember which one is where. I think this is the Mystic's Heart. For me, I think I'll finish 4, and if I like it, I'll get 3 in New Vegas eventually. I mean, Fallout 4 is definitely the most beginner-friendly of the Fallout games, but it's also the worst written one, as far as I know. Again, I haven't played it because New Vegas literally made me give up. Like, that's how much I hated it. So that's why I never got around to playing 4. Kind of a shame, but whatever, I don't care. I'll play it eventually. Okay, there's this room with a bunch of traps. It might seem intimidating, but it's really easy to get through. Just wait for them to pass and then just jump down, and there you go. He upon whom the gaze of guardians falls, he shall be destroyed. Yeah, this is the... If we take a look at our... we have some mystery bread. Huh. If we take a look at our note... this one, yep. A room of statues whose gaze is death. This is this room. So the gimmick here is that you're supposed to find your way across because there's these statues. And wherever the arrow points, if you walk in front of it... you will die, or get shot at least. I'll show you a very quick and easy way to do this. Go around here, go across the statue, jump, and you vault over it. There you go, done. See what I mean? The physics in this game are so broken. And here we have a mini-boss. So... these guys, they're called haunts, and these are the toughest enemies in the game. They're usually very fast and very tanky. They have a crap ton of HP. Because this is only the 3rd mission of the game, this guy is basically modified to go down in a few hits, and he's also a lot slower, as you saw. But normally these guys are a big threat in some of the later stages, so you gotta watch out for these. And here we have... which one is this? The red one, okay. I think that's the Mystic's Heart. His hearts are red. So I was indeed correct. Okay, here you can see the bunny hopping in action. Almost. Okay, here we go. Oh, the stupid brick stopped me, but notice how I'm picking up speed as I jump. Pro tip, because especially this level has a lot of long and winding hallways, so it's a very useful trick to get around quickly. Jump over this guy, otherwise he will wake up. There's a ladder here? I've never seen this ladder before in my life. That is interesting. Is there loot up here? Surely there isn't, because if there would be, I would remember this, because I've completed this game 100% in the past. So I vaguely remember where all the loot is. Anyway, here's the Hemorrhoid Crypts. There is no loot here, but there is some... Actually, there is loot as well, but there's also some supplies over here. So there's a goblet on each one of these tombs or coffins or whatever these are. I guess they're coffins. Okay, let me save. Because I don't trust ladders. If you thought source ladders are bad, thief ladders are even worse. So here we have a holy water fountain again, but we also have the last 2 bone pieces and a coffin here. So this is something that was added in Thief Gold, right? If you have the original game, you will not have access to this feature. So there's 5 golden bone pieces in total. There's 2 arms, 2 legs, and a skull. And if you have all of them, you basically throw all of them inside of the coffin. They vanish. Because magic, I don't know. And once you throw all of them in, you get a bunch of fire arrows, water arrows, and holy water. Holy water especially is useful for me right now, because I ended up wasting all of it. But I'm also going to use the fountain. Because over here we have the other loot objective, in this case the Mystic Soul. In this room, and here's the fire shadow that I told you about. So this is why I needed the holy water. This holy water is the most effective. There we go. And now he dropped a fire arrow and he runs away. And here, you cannot open this. The only way to open this is to shoot all of these torches on the wall with your fire arrows. So you need a total of, I think, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will also open up all the coffins and all the zombies will be let out. So you gotta be quick about this. And here we are. So again, the other note here said that we're gonna need fire arrows for the Mystic Soul, which was that thing. Now, obvious trap here. Jump over it. And also, here's the Mystic Soul. Once you pick it up, that will happen. And that. Okay, that happened with the with a considerable delay. But yeah, now we have both of these. All that's left, we even have 2000 loot. All that's left is to find the Horn of Quintus. Okay. Oh boy, okay, it's time to use my holy water. You can actually run away from this place very easily, but I like to combat these guys. If it lets me, I hate this delay with attacking. Okay, wow, this guy takes a lot of arrows. In the vanilla game, he only takes 2 arrows. I guess this is something the HD mod changes. That was not enough. You can use explosives too. You can use fire arrows. They're just as effective. And we have plenty of those still. Alright. Where are we going now? I think this way. Oh, actually, no. I think this way. Is it this way? It is not this way, okay. Good to know. Okay, now we're gonna head to the Marad family crypt, because there's some loot there, and then we're gonna go for the Horn of Quintus finally. Up. Okay, that is the way to the Horn of Quintus, I remember that, so let's come down here instead. Right here is the Marad family crypt. We have to use a rope arrow. Oh yeah, this is how rope arrows work. I didn't even introduce those in the previous mission. Basically, you can only shoot these wherever there's wood or moss. It has to be a soft surface. If you shoot these at rock, you waste them. So keep that in mind. So there's only specific areas where you can use the rope arrows. It's not like you can use them just anywhere. So that's, I guess, a balancing thing. Yep, this is the Morad family, and this has a bunch of goblets here, I think. Yeah, there's one. Is it really just one? I swear there was more than one here. Oh well. I'm not going for 100% anyway, so it's whatever. Okay, jump back down. I'm not gonna get that back, I don't need it. And over here we have our last piece of loot, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and also this way leads to the exit. So we're gonna go there last, obviously. But over here we have a very interesting section. So again, the ceiling is made out of wood, so we have to use a rope arrow.
Stay away from my face, thief, or you'll be sorry.
Now, in the vanilla game, this face here looks really goofy because it basically doesn't really have a texture. It's just the eyes and the mouth. But I'm actually glad that the HD mod added a proper texture to this. But yeah, as soon as you pick up the eyes, the diamonds in the eyes, You gotta keep your distance, because otherwise you're gonna die. Oh! I almost forgot about this chest here. It doesn't have loot. You can tell what has loot when it does the little ding sound. It just has some... I think it has rope arrows, actually. So that you can't get soft-locked down there. In case you somehow run out. Even though you start with 6 of them. And you get an additional 2 as well, because we had 8. Alright, let's finally get the horn and get out of here. And I believe this area leads back to where the... Yeah, back where the zombie was. And that music that we can hear, by the way, that is the horn itself. It's playing music on its own because it's haunted or whatever, I don't know. That's why it's called Halls of Echoing Repose. The music comes from the horn. Very easy to avoid trap, just stick to the wall. And here are some more Burrick tunnels, yay, because we love Burricks. Now, if you recall, the note from Felix himself stated that the horn, the music of the horn, will be keeping all of the Burricks neutral, basically. So they're basically calm and they won't attack you. The moment you pick up the horn, these guys will become hostile. And there's a lot of them here, way too many to fight. So what I normally do is, because you get a speed potion from one of the chests, I don't even know which one. When I pick up the horn, I basically use the speed potion and run past everything on my way back. I don't know why Garrett can't just play the horn when he's leaving, but whatever. But yeah, this is the Quintus crypt. Finally made it.
Good thing I'm not afraid of heights.
Indeed, Garrett. You might not be afraid, but I am, especially when this game's physics are so jank. Okay, so here's a funny story. When I first played this game, I obviously played it vanilla. Well, I did use T-Fix because that's kind of required, but I didn't use the HD mod or anything like that, so this ladder here is almost invisible. It blends in so well with the wall, so I'm actually really glad that the HD mod developer changed the ladder's texture. Even though it looks really ugly, at least it's actually visible. I would take visible over pretty any day. And there's another ladder right here. This one is actually still kind of tricky to spot, but it's even harder to spot in the vanilla game. So the first time I played this game, in this mission, I literally got stuck here and I had to consult a walkthrough, and I was like, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Okay, that is a first. That's never happened to me before. I guess I pressed space too late. And here it is, finally, the home.
Quintus, I presume.
Again, it doesn't give me the notification, but we got it. Jump down here, take the ladders. Now, here's another really annoying thing that just sort of proves the point that Garrett's hitbox is fucked in this game. You might think, oh, why don't you just drop down there? Here's why.
Oh.
Okay, normally you drop, you squeeze past and you drop all the way down there. That time it didn't happen, but you still take damage regardless, so... He says as he jumps down again. Okay, yeah, this blood splatter is really glitchy and annoying. I'm gonna remove it from the config file after the stream. Okay, now the Burricks will be angry, so... use the speed potion and do the bee hopping stuff. If you use the speed potion, you can outrun them easily and they'll literally forget about you in a few seconds. And now it's time to leave. Yeah, that was the Bonehoard. It really reminds me of the original Tomb Raider games, except in first person and without guns. So I guess they were inspired by that. Also, I did have to increase the gamma, as you might recall, in the first mission. But I never had to do that, well, obviously because I never streamed this game, but I never had to do it personally either. I could actually see just fine in the original game. I'm pretty sure that the HD mod also makes everything a lot darker, which I guess could be seen as either a bonus or a minus. What the hell was that? But yeah, up here is the... At least I think... Yeah, there we go. So, I don't know why the developers thought it was such a great idea in the second mission to remove the exit, the shortcut to the exit. I mean, you still had a shortcut, but they removed the actual shortcut. But in this mission, for some reason, they just added the shortcut to the exit right here. It's so close to the very last objective that you make. So you can technically go all the way back. That is possible, but why would you when you have this shortcut here? Really annoying. But yeah, there we go. We found the Horn of Quintus. We got both the gemstones, the Mystic Soul and the Mystic's Heart. 2,000 loot, and we left. How much loot did we get? Hey, we got all of it. Very nice. Yeah, as you can see, no pickpockets here. Because there's no humans. That's gonna be a trope, sadly. Every second mission pretty much is gonna be like this. It's gonna be a lot more combat and a lot less sneaking. I mean, you can still sneak around the zombies, but it's a lot harder because there's less areas to hide in. And usually it's more beneficial to just run past them because, again, they're very slow and very dumb. So they're very easy to avoid, even when there's a lot of them. Unless they corner you, then you're kind of in trouble. But that's not really easy to happen. Doesn't really happen often. The game's theme is wild. Semi-modern steampunk renaissance, Middle Ages with dinosaurs and monsters. Yeah, it's very unique. That's why this game has such a cult following. It's a very unique atmosphere, very unique premise. Great gameplay for the most part. And a great story too. Yeah, I'm gonna pop a save. 36 minutes, okay. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. The next stream will either be on Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't decided yet, so just keep an eye out. Turn on the notifications if you really want to. Again, it does really benefit me because I'm demonetized. I don't really care. I have a job now, so... But if you don't want to miss the streams, then yeah, enable notifications. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.